Ghislaine Maxwell's cooperation with the DOJ has certainly reignited public interest. To start, can you walk us through the scope of her recent disclosure? What exactly did she reveal about the Epstein network?
Absolutely. Over 2 days, Maxwell provided detailed information on around 100 individuals allegedly linked to Epstein's trafficking operations. Her legal team insists she answered all questions without invoking privilege, which is notable because it signals unprecedented transparency compared to prior interviews.
That's remarkable, especially considering the secrecy surrounding this case for years. How unusual is it for a key figure like Maxwell to be so forthright, particularly given the potential legal consequences for herself and others?
It's extremely rare. Typically, high-profile defendants withhold information unless granted immunity. Maxwell's full cooperation, reportedly without immunity agreements, suggests a calculated risk, possibly banking on future clemency or sentence reduction. This move could set a precedent in high-stakes investigations.
So, Maxwell's strategy appears to be both bold and high-risk. In terms of content, do we know if her testimony implicates figures beyond the usual suspects in politics or business?
Preliminary reports indicate the list spans multiple sectors: politics, finance, entertainment, underscoring the vast reach of Epstein's network. This breadth not only heightens the stakes for the investigation but also complicates the legal and reputational risks for many powerful individuals.
Transitioning to the Justice Department's role after years of opaque handling, why is the DOJ suddenly embracing Maxwell's testimony so publicly, and what does it mean for transparency in the Epstein case?
The pivot is largely reactive. After intense backlash over a July memo denying a formal Epstein client list, the DOJ faces mounting pressure to restore credibility. Public cooperation with Maxwell is a strategic attempt to regain trust and demonstrate proactive engagement, which is critical given how conspiracy theories have eroded institutional confidence.
But is this transparency genuine, or more of a narrative control exercise? Could selective disclosure still fuel skepticism?
There's a real risk of narrative management here. If the DOJ only releases carefully curated details, it may amplify suspicions of ongoing cover-ups. However, full transparency could expose sensitive law enforcement techniques or jeopardize ongoing investigations, so it's a delicate balancing act.
Given these complexities, is the DOJ's new approach likely to diffuse public distrust, or might it backfire?
It could go either way. A 2022 Pew survey found 62% of Americans distrust federal institutions handling high-profile scandals. Unless the DOJ provides verifiable, comprehensive disclosures, possibly overseen by independent bodies, public skepticism will likely persist or intensify.
Let's delve into the political dimensions. With reports hinting that names tied to the Trump administration may surface, what are the immediate and long-term risks for public officials implicated by Maxwell's testimony?
The immediate risk is reputational mere association with Epstein can derail careers, as seen in previous scandals. Legally, if corroborating evidence exists, it could trigger investigations or even indictments. Long-term, it may catalyze bipartisan calls for oversight on how such cases are handled, impacting institutional legitimacy.
Given the highly polarized environment, could these disclosures be weaponized for partisan gain? And how might that shape the investigative process?
Absolutely. History shows that high-profile scandals, think Watergate or Iran-Contra, often become partisan battlegrounds. If names of current or former officials emerge, expect both defensive maneuvers and aggressive calls for accountability, potentially overshadowing the factual pursuit of justice.
What safeguards can be put in place to ensure the pursuit of truth isn't lost amid political theater?
Independent oversight, perhaps via an external review board, can help. Additionally, establishing clear protocols for evidence disclosure, as well as whistleblower protections, would bolster legitimacy and mitigate the risk of politicization.
Zooming out, what opportunities does this moment offer for systemic change, whether in justice reform, media practices, or even technological solutions for public safety?
This case is a catalyst for several fronts. First, it highlights the need for justice system transparency, which could drive bipartisan reform on handling sex trafficking cases. Second, it underlines the media's responsibility to avoid sensationalism in favor of investigative rigor, as public trust hinges on accurate reporting.
On the tech side, could this scandal accelerate demand for tools that verify user backgrounds Or enhance digital trust, say in dating or networking apps?
Absolutely. The Epstein case spotlights gaps in vetting and verification. Developers are exploring encrypted identity verification and AI-driven pattern analysis to flag risky behavior, a trend already gaining traction in response to broader safety concerns.
Are there real-world examples where such reforms or technologies have meaningfully shifted outcomes in similar contexts?
Yes, Sweden's National Registry for Sex Offenders is a model, showing a 27% drop in repeat offenses post-implementation. Meanwhile, platforms like Tinder now partner with background check services, aiming to preempt abuse and restore user trust, demonstrating how technology and policy can intersect for systemic protection.